We're going. Yeah. But what's up, people? Parish Orphans and Retrogrades. I'm privileged to be here with NBA All-Star, former NBA player Gordon Hayward, who's a recent Catholic convert. And I'm like halfway through watching the scary movie Black Phone. We paused it. I was like, I gotta go do this sweet Gordon Hayward interview. So how are you on the day before All Saints, Gordon?
I'm great, Tim. Thanks for having me on again. I was texting you. I got a chance to play golf, just came off the golf course. So any day you get to do that, it's a good day. So our kids are fired up for Halloween. I'm happy that it lands on a Friday. That's actually maybe the best news, is that it lands on a Friday, and
yeah,
the half day of school tomorrow for the kids. So, I mean, they're pumped.
Amazing. It's such an amazing day. We were just talking about how it was like my second favorite day of the year growing up. Still is. I found getting older and older that all my tastes are what they were as a kid. Still, they don't really change. So yeah, second best day of the year, second only to Christmas. On a Friday, I remember in third grade for me, it fell on a Friday in Mrs. Black's class. And I thought that was really good.
You remember the teacher and everything. That's right.
I do. That's how influential it was. I am a passionate lover of Halloween. I wanted to talk to you about it because it's All Hallows Eve right now. And the second year we moved to South Mississippi, it fell on a Sunday. And it's a Baptist controlled state, which is fine. It makes it the most conservative and the most Christian state, but so you take the bad with the good. But they basically canceled Halloween that year because it fell on a Sunday. They don't really like Halloween anyway. And one thing I was asking you, because I know you're not a convert from being a Baptist, but you were formerly Protestant.
Yeah.
There's a growing trend among Catholics to onboard this Protestant, protest of this excellent holiday. And it's a deeply Catholic holiday. I can read you some of the history you're saying you didn't know, but I was like, yo, Gordon, what's your take on Halloween? It's dope, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think it was just growing up, it was a super innocent, just dress up as your favorite superhero. Or I think one year I dressed up as a knight, and my mom would always make our costumes. And, you just walk the neighborhood and your friends are all there, and you get to go and you get candy, and you're hunting for the house that's giving the big candy bars out. And there was no, I don't know. I mean, for us, there was no really religious part to it. It was a fun, innocent holiday. I would love to know what the Catholic roots are. I think that makes it even better, even better of a holiday.
It does. And here's the thing. You're hitting on something really important right at the beginning. Because I grew up, sort of secular 80s and 90s cultural Catholic. I wasn't serious about my faith till I was like 28, 29. And yeah, I loved it in an innocent way, Halloween, without knowing or caring that it actually has these deep Catholic roots. And so that's fine. But there's the good, the neutral, and the bad. What's become trendy is for Catholics, like a lot of the Southern Baptists, to say it's bad. One, it's not bad. It's just amazing, fun, innocent. It's about candy, and like dressing as either a superhero or whatever you like there, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Or I prefer my kids to go as something spooky. I wanted to know if, particularly in your Catholic community there in North Carolina, you get a lot of this pressure to go to dress your kids as like a saint because it's All Saints Day Eve.
Yeah.
Say, look, no, the roots, I'll read them to you in a second, are deeply spooky. 13 or 14 centuries old. It's meant to be spooky. And if you go to an All Saints Day party the next day, okay, I guess you can dress as a saint. That's not as much fun as going as a corpse or a zombie or a mummy or a Dracula or something, because you're supposed to remember your death, memento mori. That's why Catholic scholars keep a skull on their desk. Spooky is fun, and we don't have to make it like it's PG rated. It doesn't need to be G rated. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I don't know of anyone here that's pressuring kids to be dressed up as saints. I'm certainly not doing that. I think that would be great for the wax museum project in like third or fourth grade, where you get to be a famous character. Like that would be a good one for that. But certainly for Halloween, I'm with you. We've got one witch. Witches are kind of spooky. We've got one Jack the Pumpkin King from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Skellington.
We've got an M&M. Her and her friends are dressing up as the M&Ms.
Like
and,
or like the orange disc candy or red.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then the other one, what's the other one going to be? The other one is, she was a cowgirl. So she and her friends have these pink cowboy boots and pink hat, and so ours are just fun, and they're just, I think it is kind of cool, and to kind of just be able to dress up as a superhero and pretend that you're the Flash for just one night, you know what I mean? And you can kind of get in costume, and I don't know, I think that's just a lot of fun for kids.
It is. And here's the thing. Okay, so you said the W word. So I know people in my chat are I have 7 little kids for the moment. And haven't announced anything huge yet, but 7 little kids, and I have 6 little girls and 1 little boy. 2 of the little girls are going as witches, and my people are all like, a lot of them are cool Catholics, retrogrades, but they're like a little iffy on the witch thing, because witches like the devil. We're not glorifying witches. We're saying witches are scary. So it's not glorifying. The same thing where memento mori, this deeply Catholic thing where you're supposed to remember your death, why St. Augustine, did all of his studies with a human skull on the desk. It makes you holier and better if you are a little bit afraid of death. It's not glorifying death. So if someone goes as a Grim Reaper, you're not glorifying death. You're just saying, pay it its propers, man. It's scarier. What else do we have this year? We have a bunch of Mario people. We have Luigi,
Peach, we have Princess
Peach, Daisy.
Okay.
Daisy, what's the blue one? I always forget the blue one. Rosalina was after our time.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, that's a new character, huh?
That's a new one. That's a newer girl.
Sorry about the audio, everybody. Tim, your mic was coming through here for some reason, so I just
now it sounds much better. You sound great now.
Oh, okay, I sounded terrible before because I was canned through Steph's mic there, I guess. Okay, thanks.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
But the point, okay, I'm just glad to talk to a fellow Catholic that's like, and there are a lot of cool Catholics in this audience, but there's a lot of people spurging out now the way that the evangelicals started in the late 90s to spurg out about Halloween. I don't know when it lost its innocence. Like, here's the thing. So Pope Gregory III in the 8th century moved the Triduum, and it's a Triduum, by the way. All Hallows Eve, which is Halloween, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, right? The 31st, 1st, 2nd. It used to be in spring, which is a stupid time of the year to have it in. It was there in spring before. You got to have it in the Fall Fest when it's easier to remember your death, because that's what it's called. It's called the Autumn Triduum or the Hallowtide. It is about All Saints and All Souls, and the day before All Saints is supposed to be the creepy aspect. The day All Saints is the less creepy aspect. All Souls is just a little bit of both, I guess. And Pope Gregory the third moved it to the fall, to the 31st, 1st, 2nd, and then Pope Gregory the Fourth, his successor, normalized it and standardized the move and the change for all of the Western Church. So it is a Catholic holiday. And no, I'm not saying this is what I loved about it as a kid. I liked the candy. I liked dressing up as something spooky, same as what you were saying, Gordon. But that's what good culture does. Good culture makes kids get into something and they don't even know they're getting into it. And you find out later that you're enculturated properly. But a lot of people out there that are like Puritans about this either want it to be explicit. It's not holy unless you're dressed like, St. Jerome as he's translating the Bible into Latin, commissioned by Pope Damasus I or whatever. It's like, that's not fun, though. Enculturation works where you're making something fun and making it kind of implicit rather than making it explicit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. I'm definitely more on your side on this one. I get it. I can understand. And I do think that there's probably a line that could be crossed. I mean, I think you and me would probably both agree the excuse for on Halloween for women to dress inappropriately is probably too far. You know what I mean? Like that feels wrong. But when we're talking about 10-year-olds and under who, it's like they like you said, you're not glorifying being a witch, but it's really just, it's a person that has powers. It's almost just a superhero. You know what I mean? I think that's fun. I think it's fine. It's not like you said, it's not like the intent is not to glorify the wrong things.
Of course.
I think along the same lines, probably the same type of people that are maybe against like the Harry Potter stuff, which is in my eyes just a fun. I might be bringing something up controversial here, but I love.
No, I agree. I was going to go there. I was going to say,
like,
Yeah.
I loved it. That's like my generation's book. It's kind of like my generation's Lord of the Rings. And it's just like a fantasy book that you aren't potentially glorifying those figures, but it's a fun read. You know what I mean?
And you'll see people, they'll say, oh, but those are real spells. It's like, well, Latin is a real language, guys.
Yeah.
They're just Latin. What are you talking about?
If you want to mess with a trad cath spurg, and I mean, I love the Latin mass, right? I mean, so I'm half a trad cath, but if you want to mess with one of these people, they really do think Harry Potter's evil, and you're like, okay, so how is Harry Potter, which is all about wizards and witches, evil, but Lord of the Rings is not? Because I love Lord of the Rings, and I like Harry Potter. I like the movies. You know, it's not great literature, but I really, you know, we like the movies. We rewatch the movies like every year. Mm-hmm. And people would say, "Oh, that's got witches and actual wizards saying actual spells." I was like, "Bro, Gandalf and Saruman say actual spells in Lord of the Rings, and you make okay differentiate for me how one's okay and the other's not." Oh, wait, like people out there, people in the chat, if anybody's spurging about this, oh wait, like there are witches and wizards in everything, in both of these things. And yes, I agree with everything Gordon said. I was going to make the analogy before you did too. I mean,
I think I'm coming at it more from an innocent. I didn't even realize, you know, that those are. It's like fantastical to me. You know what I mean? It's just the spell that he uses to light up the room. Like it's not. I didn't think anything else beyond that.
Yeah. This isn't Aleister Crowley. You know, it's not like sex magic, Marina Abramovich stuff. It's what we call an equivocal term. Yeah, there's like this cartoon witch thing where it's not about women that sacrifice children to the devil, which is what a witch was, right? Sure. Largely comes from the Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud. But now we have this cartoonized witch, and it's kind of the same term that designates a new thing. And you're not really glorifying either the cartoon witch and definitely not glorifying the really wrong, evil, you know, anti-Christian witch.
That's right.
But it's about fun. And then some of these spurgs will say, I just wanted to get your take, you know, because it's time appropriate. They'll say, well, you just kind of lucked into that. Did you really, when you were trick-or-treating as a kid, did you know that Gregory III and Pope Gregory IV? And I was like, no. But again, that's the role of culture. I was enculturated into doing this thing. And rather than LARPing as a guy that like, well, why do you have to trick or treat? That's just American culture. Why can't you do ghost spiriting? That's what they did in the 11th century. It's like, because that's not my century. You know, they also wore like pantaloons or kilts or something. Like I wear pants because you got to bloom where you're planted. And I'm with you. I hate spurging. I hate LARPing. Okay. Well, do you dress up?
I have in the past. As of right now, I don't know if I'm dressing up or not. It's one of those things where sometimes like my wife will be like, hey, here's your costume. We need it for the picture. Or there's been instances in the past where my like I was supposed to dress up as because my son was, as I mentioned, was big into Nightmare Before Christmas. Like just loved that movie. And he was Jack and he wanted me to be the mayor, you know? And so for my 3-year-old, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna dress up as the mayor and we're gonna go have a good time. And he's gonna be on cloud 9. You know,
sure, of course.
As of right now, I don't know I don't think I am because I haven't heard anything. So I don't know if I'm dressing up this year for Halloween.
It's cool. Yeah, I'm always sort of TBA as well. Some years I do, some years I don't. I'm getting a lot of requests for my vampire this year. So I have, now this is funny because everyone's going to say I'm contradicting myself. I have gone as Pope Pius X in various years, but that's just to go around and sort of condemn people. That's the main reason I did that. Not because I'm against being spooky. I prefer spooky. You can ask Steph. I'm always trying to talk my kids into, you can go as a superhero, but I prefer spooky. And so I really like a zombie, a
like
ghoul.
A werewolf. I could see you being Dracula.
Yeah.
I can pull it off.
Honoring the
Yeah,
monsters
see
that
that.
built this country.
Yeah, the monsters who made this country great again. We're
I could
honoring-
also see you being Van Helsing too. With you got the long hair and like I could see that.
I could pull it off. I could, and then I'd be a good guy.
You could be a demon hunter. Is that good for the super trad Catholics?
I guess it would be, yeah, because I'm like doing a spell, like something. I mean, that's what I do every day on the internet. So yeah, that's good, man. I was just wondering if this has been ever anything you've come into contact with, the purity spiraling about Halloween. I mean, is that a thing in North Carolina? This big in Mississippi, and it was even growing in Southern California. Purity spiraling against Halloween.
I can't speak for all of Charlotte. In my circles, it is not the case. So I'm not aware of that.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky. It's a special time of the year though. And this is just a lark. We're not into a lot of TV shows or whatever, but we're big Stranger Things people. And
yeah, it's a great show.
It's a great show. And
Indiana, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. Now Hawkins is a fictitious Indiana town, but it's kind of like Hawkins feels like in season 1, season 2, where the town's depicted to be a little more like a small town. I'm thinking more like French Lick, Indiana, like Larry Bird's hometown.
That's right.
But,
you know what? I would say a lot of people our age, I think, at least this is how I feel, and I know some of my friends feel like I wish we could kind of go back in time a little bit to Hawkins, Indiana, where it's so much simpler. Kids are just outside all day. You hop on your bike and you go, roll over to your friend's house and you're playing all day. And
I know,
like, I love that part. And I think that's what a lot of people love that part about that show is it just brings you back to those times where kids are just outside running around. I know they played a little D&D in that show, which isn't the worst thing because they're at least their imagination is going, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That's what everyone connected with about the show. You can do nostalgia in a cheap way. They did it in a really deep way, and everyone connected to it. I never played D&D. This might be another triggering purity spirals thing, but because I was always outside playing basketball. That's just what I was doing. But and riding my bike. And a little bit older, I started skateboarding, but it was pretty much basketball. I kind of wish. That show makes me wish I played Dungeons and Dragons. Did you ever play it?
I did not. There was a group at lunch. They had this lunch table that always played. And for whatever reason, I think there was like a negative stereotype of like, oh, those dudes are so nerdy. I could never be caught over there. But then it's like in the same vein, I was a big video game guy, and it's like I was just as much of a nerd. Like I just didn't know anything about the game, but I certainly think after hearing about it, probably would have been a fun time if I would have been a part of it.
Yeah, it was like Turbo Nerd.
Yeah,
that and like Magic card. I mean, I probably wouldn't have been into the Magic card, but
that's right.
D&D. I mean, Stranger Things made me wish that I had been a nerd playing D&D with like a 20-sided dice, and I don't know, Eddie Munson season 4. It's cool. Anyway, today is the release of the trailer, and we are now inside of a month for the release of Stranger Things 5, the exciting final season. It's like I'm a paid spokesman, but it's
a good ad right there,
isn't it? It's almost like they're paying me, but they're not. It is an electrifying time of the year. There's just something magic about the air in October. I don't care where you're from, whether I grew up between Texas and California. I know you grew up in Indiana. It's just a nice time of the year, whether you're golfing or you're riding your bikes I've been riding my bikes with my kids, like a big 40+ year old. It's just a fun time to be outdoors. Yeah. And I do miss it. Now, I know this is a special time of the year for basketball people. And I wanted to ask you, so this is the start of the season. I went to the Pels game on Monday. A few NBA questions. I mean, this is only your second season out of the game, literally. Right. Do you miss it, or do you like being with the family and being able to hang out pre-Halloween?
Yeah. So last year, I feel like I did not miss it at all. There was one game at Madison Square. I was watching Butler versus St. John's, and I was like, it'd be pretty cool to play, but I didn't miss the NBA at all. This year, we were out to eat at a restaurant when game 1 happened here in Charlotte, and I was like looking up at the screen watching, and it did kind of like it was like man, I should still be out there playing. Like, I feel like I'm watching, I'm like, I feel like I could still be out there and play. And, and then they also showed a picture of the bench, and my guy, Mason Plumlee, is sitting over there on the bench. And it's like, yeah, but I don't miss that. I don't miss basically like the travel. I don't miss, there's in a course of someone's NBA career, you go through lots of different roles for basically everybody that plays. There's very few exceptions. The guys that are going to go down as the all-time greats that essentially have the same role their whole career. But a lot of people go through sitting on the bench, playing starter, getting all the shots, then not doing it, then coming off the bench. And it's like, I miss when I was the guy, and, I had great teammates that I really connected with, and I miss the games. I don't miss the travel. I don't miss playing on Halloween and not being able to go trick-or-treating with my kids, and not being able to I went to this school event the other day where my daughter was dressing up and they had this pumpkin dance song and stuff. And so, it's like, yes, I miss the games a little bit. Do I miss the whole thing entirely? I'm so blessed right now and love where I'm at. So
amazing.
That was a long-winded answer for your question, but I kind of feel like that's how I feel right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. I mean, like, what did you had really 5 seasons. You played as many seasons where you were him, where you were the guy, as seasons where you weren't necessarily the guy on your team. And like, that's amazing. That's a far better than average career. I mean, most people don't ever make All-Star, but that's an answer coming from a guy that not only started in the NBA, but was an All-Star. Imagine how guys that never started in a single NBA game. I always look at these guys like, what's his name? He's he went to Kansas, Collison, Derek Collison. I'm like, he was a long time.
Nick Collison.
Oh, Nick Collison. Yeah, like that guy I don't think he ever started a game. Seems like a super nice guy and great friend of Russell Westbrook, so I like him. But it's like, yeah, if you have like a 15-year career and you never get to be even a little bit close to an All-Star, think of how much more that would weigh on their answer than the one you gave. You were like an NBA All-Star.
Yeah, I think it's like all about perspective, right? On the one hand, he probably Nick is. I played for the Thunder for a little bit, and he's in the front office there, so we kind of connected a little bit, and so I can't speak for him, but I'm imagining, like, on the one hand, if you almost kind of knew what your role was, right? So there was no aspirations of potentially like knowing what it feels like to be the man or have all the shots or, whatever we're talking about, because he knew this is my role. This is what I'm going to do each game. I'm happy with it. I love that. I love doing that. And so he also, I think, played with them his whole career, which was really, really nice. I think the guys that have to rotate around year by year is the worst. As far as family life and just life in general, but yeah, so you've got that and then you have people like me where you kind of are doing both a little bit. I have the major injury, and that kind of is like a huge setback and brings everything back just kind of when I'm in my prime. And so I think it's at the end on the other side, like think about like a Vince Carter, where Vince Carter was the guy his whole career essentially. And then he decides, well, I'm just going to keep playing. And then now he kind of transforms his game, and it's like now he's a spot shooter and a corner 3 guy. And so I think it's all about perspective, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I always loved Nick Collison for his literal cheerleading. It's just like, particularly if you're just a tall white guy that was never super skilled, like a smaller or medium-sized guy that aspired to be a skill player like you were, for these just kind of tall white guys, it's like play defense, seal up the middle, and be able to hit like a 12-foot jumper if the ball comes to you on the baseline or something. I don't think, like you said, it's about perspective. They're just like, hey, I'm getting a good paycheck. So that seems to be the right answer. And, we got to travel a lot. Okay. So I want to be delicate, because I know how the league, a little bit about how the league protects its image and stuff. I don't know what kind of NDAs it contracts out on you guys, but right, like the first game of the season, first week of the season, this huge scandal that has magically evaporated. The gambling scandal, Chauncey Billups, who I'm an autograph and basketball card collector. I told you I have all the same hobbies I had when I was a kid. I just paid for his autograph this summer, actually, at NSCC, the big sports card convention that they have once a year. So I paid for it. I always thought Chauncey was whatever. I mean, maybe he's still a guy, and this is just the mistake he made, but he's using mafia level, like X-ray poker tables. Scary Terry Rozier is, they're throwing games, stuff like this. This was the last thing the NBA needed, right? Because viewership was already down on the finals, lowest that it's ever been in like 20 years this past season when the Thunder won. And I don't know. There seems to be a lot of pressure. What did you think about that? Were you kind of like, I'm glad I'm out at this point, or how did you react to it?
Yeah, I think it's, first off, I was on.
Did we lose Gordon?
I think he froze.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can again. Okay. Yeah, you just said I was on, and then it went silent for a second.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I was on the team. I probably was in the game when he pulled himself out. Like I remember. It's just so hard to say. I would say it's hard to comment until we get all the facts out. I would tend to think that the FBI doesn't just arrest you for nothing. You know what I mean? And so I would tend to think they probably have something. That being said, I can tell you none of us on the team knew what was going on.
That's good.
Especially at the end of the year. I'm just going to be completely 100% honest here. At the end of the year, if you're a veteran player, like our season was over, we weren't going anywhere. We weren't going to make the playoffs. Like you're trying to make it through the end of the season without any sort of injuries, because it's like we got to be able to train the way you want to train in the off season to get ready for the next season. And it's like it's not that you're not trying, but it's like I don't know. It's like if I was nicked up a little bit, it's like I might just sit out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then there's also like the team will sometimes sit veteran guys, which to your point about the NBA and everything that the NDAs and all that, like, I don't know what you're potentially allowed to say or not say. I know they have an anti-tanking thing, but I'm just being upfront and real with you. Like, teams want to potentially that year. Was it that year that Victor was coming out?
Oh yeah, it probably was. I was going to ask you about Victor.
So like that stuff goes on. That's a whole nother debate we can have of whether or not tanking should be allowed or not. I mean, it's your franchise, like, and he's a generational player. But like also sometimes it's like, well, we want to see what these young guys can do. We already know what the vets can do. Like, so we're going to sit them down. We want to see what the young guys can do. Like, I want to know if my asset is valuable or not.
Right. Right.
So I can tell you, like, straight up, like, I didn't know what was going on. Nobody else knew if he really did hit, like, sub himself out to hit the under or not. Like, nobody knew. And it wasn't in our eyes, there's just kind of like a normal thing. I guess. Yeah. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is like, it's at the end of the year. He's a vet. We're not in the playoffs. It's almost like a normal type thing. I think Kelly Oubre did the same thing either in that game or the next game. So it's hard to say. The Chauncey thing is a bit concerning. If he's potentially linked up with the mafia, and from what I read, like you said, using, like, just stealing money from people essentially. That certainly is concerning. Again, I don't know if that's, I don't think has the information all come out. I don't know what exactly.
They buried it. It was out for 48 hours and then they buried it. The NBA seems to be expert at getting stuff to go away. It was a huge story. And then it came out that LeBron's former teammate, what's his face? Damon Jones. Yeah.
So like, it's hard to comment without knowing everything, all the facts and everything that happened. And you know what I mean? So but it's definitely not good.
I forgot.
I mean, I can tell you it's definitely not a bright spot for the NBA.
particularly when it's already struggling. And I do want to talk about playing minutes in a second, but I sincerely forgot you were playing with Terry that season. Terry Rozier. So
I think it's like the fine. You mentioned that the finals were the lowest. Were they the lowest rated or lowest watched?
Yeah, in like 21 years or something.
Well, which one was it? Was it rated or watched?
I thought they were the same thing. So maybe I'm. I thought.
Well, I just. It's hard to. I think those are two super small market teams. You know what I mean? And so it's like those. They're definitely going to be less viewers probably tuning in. The other question, I think it's like, okay, well, because I had heard we had heard all last year about the viewership being down, the ratings being down, and it's just like, well, is that because people are streaming it, or is it because people are just not watching it on cable because they're watching it in other places? Is it just because sports in general are down because people are just it's hard to watch for these attention spans? You know what I mean? Like people to watch the whole game, they just see the highlights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's hard to know. I think the one thing that I can say the NBA's got going for it is Victor Wembanyama. I mean, that guy,
unbelievable.
It's mind blowing. It's seriously, when I saw that first game, his highlights,
I know.
Like, I thought in today's day and age with AI videos, I'm like, that's fake.
I know the step back. I'm like, dude,
he's dunking everything. He like the dunks were. I mean, it is what it is. He's 7'5", and those are super impressive. But you're like, he's 7'5", whatever. Then he comes down. He blocks the shot, which was an incredible block. He then comes down in transition and goes in, out, cross, between, behind, step back, and 1-3. And it was like, no, that's not real. It
looked like
Anthony Davis looked like a first grader.
He did,
and it's like the other impressive thing to me is he's like pivoting around the rim and then shooting like floater bank shots. It's like, well, this just isn't fair. Like he's got everything at 7'5".
He moves. I mean, remember when KD came out and it's like KD's really 6'11", right? He was listed at 6'9" for like the first 10
at
minutes.
Least 6'11". Yeah.
He's at least 6'11". But and it was like no one's ever going to be like KD, can move with the ball like that and shoot like that at 6'11". Then you add 6 inches to KD, and that's Wemby. And I wanted to talk to you about him. My question written down about him is just, is the league Wemby's in 3 years? And maybe it's just this year, right?
Well, I mean, I think if he keeps going, the number one question is going to be, can he stay healthy? There's never been anyone that moves like him at his size that stays healthy. So I think everyone's hoping and praying that he does, because it's so fun to watch what he's doing. But yeah, I mean, I think it's almost already his league. I think their team just has to win. He's got to somehow find ways to put the team on his back and win, because if he's just doing this stuff and they're losing, then it's like, well, it's not your league yet. You're not ready. If they are winning, and he's leading that charge and they're winning. I mean, I haven't really watched many games, but I've checked the box scores. And I saw one of the games, he had like 9 blocks. Like, I mean, it's seriously, it's like, I think all my friends will know I call myself a realist, but a lot of people say that I'm a hater. But like, I as much of a realist and a hater that I am, he's one guy I would pay to go see. He's like the only guy I would like pay right now, pay my money to go watch. I think it's just must see TV, and it's incredible. It's pretty incredible. I'm not gonna try to add anything to that. As a North Carolina guy, do you think also this could be a real coming out year for LaMelo? Well, it's a question mark year for him, right? Like it's a like do or die year. It's like, I texted him before the year, like, listen, man, you gotta, at this point in time, everyone knows you have talent, but you gotta show it, and you gotta win. You gotta play most of the year, and you gotta win. Like it's what is this, year 6 for him now or something? And so he can put up the stats and have some of the, his plays are pretty ridiculous too, but it's like none of that matters if you don't win. And they're certainly putting up points this year. They're a fun team to watch too, but he personally has to find a way to help the team win.
Now, before, because you wanted to talk about Wemby and I wanted to go there, but I always have basketball cards splayed out on the side where you can't see, and I'm looking at a John Stockton rookie card I have here. which
Sure.
isn't his real rookie card because the NBA was in such a tough spot. Adam Silver, you need to realize that you could be back here in the middle 80s, that they stopped making cards before 86, 87 Fleer. But so John Stockton's rookie card really was him with 4 years of stats. His rookie season, 84, 85, played 82 games. 85, 86, 82 games. Next season, 82 games. Next season, 82 games. I'm looking at a Kevin McHale card with his first 3 seasons, played 82 games, 82 games, 82 games. This is one, and I went to like the Pels' 3rd game of the season on Monday. No Zion Williamson. Last night, I was going to ask you about AR's game winner last night. I think he's also him, but I think he could be the real guy. But I mean, no Zion in the game I played against. There was no. I'm going to a game soon. There's not going to be. I wanted to see the Trailblazers because I got a good deal because of the Chauncey thing. No Dame. The last night, no LeBron. No Luka. It's ridiculous, man. They don't play. I know some of these are real injuries. A lot of them are. When people go to see games, they go to see the starting play. If I'm going to see the Jazz, when you're the guy, I'm going to see Gordon Hayward. I'm not going to see their 8th guy.
Yeah. You know what? I think it is somebody should, I'm sure they have, somebody should do a long dive and a research project on why, because there's never been more hands-on and more effort and research put into people's health and the athlete's health than there is now. And yet it seems as if there's more injuries now than ever. You mentioned like John Stockton and them playing 82 games. Like they had, when I first was on the Jazz, this was only in 2010. I get drafted in 2010. We had an athletic trainer. We had an assistant trainer who also was our equipment manager. And then we had a massage therapist. That was it. And you didn't get seen by the massage therapist unless you played. So I didn't even use our massage therapist because I wasn't playing. So it's like all I got was my ankles taped, and if you got hurt, it was some ice and stim. Pretty much that was it. My last year, so that was 2 years ago. We had there's probably 5 PTs on staff. There's an athletic trainer. There's a sports science guy. There's a nutritionist. There's 2 strength coaches. This is basically at every team. And then you have before practices and after practices, you have table time, whether you play or you don't play. Before games, you have activation. You've got table time. There's all kinds of stuff after the game for recovery. My point is just like it is completely changed since, and this was in 2010 when I came in. I can't even imagine John Stockton and Michael Jordan and Kevin McHale, like they probably had even less.
I know.
And yet guys are getting hurt. So I can't tell you, Tim, what the answer is. It is a little bit strange to me. I think you could probably make the argument about the pace of play, that the way that the game is played now is completely different. I mean, you could just see it by the scores. The scores are, 130, 120 every single night, which that wasn't the way it used to be. And so maybe it's faster and, more explosive. And I'm just guessing here, by the way, I don't know. But other than pace of play, I don't exactly know why else guys are getting hurt like they are.
All right, look how many ACLs have been torn, and I was
ACLs, Achilles.
Unbelievable. And I mean, it was just common for. I think there's a toughness component to it. This gets into the like old guys versus the new guys argument, but ACLs, no one's playing through that. So that doesn't. So the toughness component doesn't explain it. Like I was just listening to Kevin McHale talk about, I think 87 season. He just played through a broken foot. Or he'd played through a broken foot in the playoffs in 86, and he said his foot was just on fire. And now, and Larry Bird said he still walks with a limp. That's just a toughness thing. And those guys were doing that for not that much more money per year than their typical fan makes. More, 7 figures, but barely. And now it seems to be 8 figures, cumulatively maybe 9 figures, and the guys are willing to do less. So I don't know. I don't want to just make everything like a boomer, make everything about, buckle up your belt tighter or whatever boomers are always saying about everything. But it seems like it.
So I can answer that one for you. And I think that it's a culture thing, and I think it is a toughness thing. But I also think they have all these people on staff now, like I said, and they are kind of the voice for the players in that, hey, like so-and-so has an injury, and if we don't watch it and treat it, you know, he's not going to be able to play in a week from now or 2 weeks from now. Or, hey, he can play on it, and then like he's not going to be able to walk the same the rest of his life. And so the agent and the player are like, we're not doing that.
Right.
Whereas back then, that wasn't really even an option. I don't even think anyone thought about that. But you look at a lot of those guys who played through everything, and you just said, like, he walks with a limp to this day. And so it's like you've got these not outside, you have these other people that are voices for the players saying, like, hey, this guy wants to be able to someday, you know, run around with his kids when he's done playing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was a voice for that back then. Or I don't know if that was like, well, I don't care. Just the culture was like, doesn't matter. We're just playing through it, which is a toughness thing.
Yeah, and it's a balance thing. It's a balance thing too, because I know the NBA PA goes to this place where it's like all about the players, and people are looking at that. Fans are looking at that, and they're like, well, you guys aren't this is not an industry where the players are getting abused anymore. I mean, maybe you could make this case, and maybe Kevin McHale could, but he seems pretty happy with his life. And yet you see a lot of players sticking up for each other, which is good. But I mean, players sticking up for players on others' teams. And anytime I hear a younger NBA player talk about it, they're always saying, well, we have to have a life after. Of course, that's true. But the guys played a lot harder in the 80s, and that was the golden age of basketball. And I mean, there were a lot of great athletes in the 80s. We're not talking the 1950s like George Mikan and a bunch of Jewish accountants running around getting paid $50,000. We're talking about the NBA, Jordan's era.
Yeah.
There were guys that were going balls to the wall, and people loved that. Like Magic and Larry saved the league, but Jordan brought it to a whole new level in the mid 80s. And he wanted to play 80. Jordan himself played 82 games per season. I don't know. I see a lot of this players looking out for each other. And I don't, like in Hollywood where no actor ever criticizes another. And you're like, I'd kind of like to see more actors criticizing other actors. So there's a little bit of a healthy kind of rivalry.
Well, I think there is certainly a balance. I think there's still the question that we asked at the beginning of, well, you can't play through an ACL or an Achilles tear. And it feels as if there's more of those. And so I have that question, like, well, why is that? There's never been more attention to detail on players' health and training and all that stuff and recovery. And so I think it's a pace of play thing, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 115 possessions per game instead of like 95 or so. I've looked at that. So that's definitely pace of play. A lot of the scores are higher because of the threes, but you're definitely right. And that it's definitely kind of a mystery for the counterintuitive reason that you're saying. I have to ask this before moving on, because I want to talk to you in closing about your film production company, which is a really cool thing to do after an NBA career. But on the gambling scandal, did you see Kevin Love's tweet that got? I thought it was hilarious. Did you see?
No, I don't really get on social media that much. What'd he say?
So he did it's a meme about a meme. It was like that guy that was cheating on his wife and went to a Coldplay concert with his receptionist. Did you see that?
Right. I saw that.
So Kevin Love posted Chauncey's face and Terry Rozier's face on the guy, and it was like cheaters, right? Yeah. And he said, I'm like, okay, see, I think this is healthy ribbing player to player. And I guess Damian Lillard just got on the phone with him and said, this shit is weak or something. And it's like, and then Kevin Love ended up taking it down. I'm like, well, I think that shit is weak. I think it's good for guys to be grilling each other and being like, this is not good for us. This isn't good for the game. Sure. It's not good for the league. So
I think that's the case. I think I'm fine with it. My only thing with it is probably like, we don't know yet. Like if Chauncey is innocent in this, that's probably not probably not a great tweet, but then maybe he can say, my bad, I didn't know he was innocent or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to see where the NBA goes. I think you're right. Wemby is going to take the league on his shoulders or not, because he's definitely the guy, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Somebody said that Wemby is the guy that we all created in 2K.
That's right. That's exactly right. I was thinking more NBA Street Volume 2. He's the dude that you made 7'5" that could shoot threes, dribble, dunk, and everyone's like, well, you just have a creative player on your team. That's not fair.
He's a test tube basketball playing baby. That's what a 7'5" test tube basketball baby. He's created in a lab. It's unreal. And he's a Stranger Things fan. You know, he said in all his table time, he got obsessed with Stranger Things 1. I was like, I like this kid. I like him. All right. So you have more time to father, to husband, to trick or treat with your kids, and evidently, Gordon, to make films. What can you tell us about that? I'd just love to hear about it in closing.
Sure. Did we talk about this last time or no? Not at all.
I queued it up, but we didn't get into it at all.
Okay. Yeah. So when I was had my major injury in Boston, there was a comeback video that was made, and the guy who kind of directed it and did it became a good friend of mine, Simon Hacker, and he's brilliant. I think he's a creative genius, and he kind of came to me and was like, let's start a production company. And initially it was going to be some shorter films, and he had a script that he wanted to show me, and the movie, and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. And so he made the movie Notice to Quit. I think right now it's actually available on Amazon Prime or Apple. You can rent it. It's a really good movie. I think for as independent and small as we are, it's amazing. It stars Michael Zegan, who is, if any of your listeners are Marvelous Mrs. Maisel fans, he's Joel Maisel in that show. So you might have some people that recognize him, but I just loved the script. It's kind of about a father who's he's divorced, but he's got a daughter who's 10, and it's kind of about him. It follows him in New York City on a hot summer day, and he it has a chance to figure out what's really important in life. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. We have aspirations to make really cool stories and tell a bunch of stories, and it's not going to be limited. Obviously, the first one wasn't to like sports. I know a lot of former athletes will do like sports movies or things like that, and we want to tell stories. And I think Simon is, like I said, I think he's brilliant. And so stories like that Christopher Nolan tells, or Steven Spielberg, just big time, cool stories.
Dope. I'm gonna go rent it and watch it sometime this week.
I think it really resonates with fathers. You said you have 6 girls, right?
Yep.
So it's a dad and a daughter, and it's just, I think it resonates really well with them. Notice to Quit. That's right.
All right. Yeah. People go check that out. Support good. This is a good man here, Gordon Hayward, amazing basketball player, recent convert to Catholicism, Notice to Quit, and new film production company executive, Gordon Hayward. That sounds awesome. I really am going to go watch it after we're going to finish out the Scary Movie push the next couple of days for obviously tomorrow. And then this weekend, I'm going to watch that.
So we'll do a local show right after this, just a real brief one with Gordon. There's just 2 super chats right now for questions for you guys. And the first one is, hello, all 3 Gordons. Question, would a group of current former pro athletes who are Catholic be feasible? Prots have more presence in that world at the moment.
What was the question specifically?
Would a group of current former pro athletes who are Catholic be feasible? I guess like a formalized group.
To do what? I mean,
I guess have like a
to discuss. Or
let's have a discussion.
Someone's I don't know. Like a Catholic former athlete podcast. Is that what they're asking?
Yeah, like a podcast. That
like a super group. Do we just do things together for fun?
we go and we watch films at the theater together. I mean, that would be cool because you got one of them right here. He's a film production guy. You could get John Stockton, who's Catholic. You could get wait for Harrison Butker to quit.
There's some really cool Catholics.
Yeah,
in pro sports, you really do.
Royce White. Have you ever talked to Royce, Gordon?
Royce White, was he a basketball player?
Yeah, remember he was.
I think he was drafted in my class, right?
He was drafted. Was it your class? It was close. I think
Could have been, or maybe right after me, if we're thinking of the same person.
He's your age. Yeah, he dropped in the draft, and then he didn't. I'm friends with Royce.
Does he not like flying, or is there some?
Yes, that's Royce.
Okay,
that's
I remember him. I think that he's like uber talented, right?
He's a beast. He's a beast. Yeah. He plays in the big three. He's friends with Cube and Ives, and he's a Catholic, and was not that far away from being the new senator for the state of Minnesota. He ran against what's her face, the squad senator there, and he's a based right wing guy. And anyway, so yeah, you could get him. You could get Gordon. Was he in your draft class?
He could have been.
Is that the guy you're thinking? He's about your age. He's 30.
It's the guy that I know supposedly had problems like traveling on the team plane because he was so afraid of flying. Then
yes, that's
he was
Roy.
Around my time. I know that
he was either a year before your year or year after, and he is your age because you're 36.
35.
He's 35.
Don't add another year yet. Don't add another year.
Sorry, look, I'm 44. And it's just when people think I'm like 38, and I'm always sort of disappointed to tell them how old I am, because they're like, oh, it's good, but it's good in some ways, but it's bad in others. Anyway, what was the other super chat?
Super chat from Matthew Ruby. He says, "You're just a Dame hater because he's Westbrook's daddy."
Matt Ruby's a good dude and a good athlete as well. Yeah, Dame did become Westbrook's daddy, but in the, what was that, 17 playoffs, or was it 16 playoffs when he waved bye-bye? That was remember that, Gordon?
I do remember that. I do.
He was giving all this respect throughout the whole series to Russ, and Russ just hates anyone who's wearing other colors, and Russ was not giving him respect back. And then as a Russ fan, it was hard to watch because he was being mean and Dame was being respectful, and Dame got the last laugh and outplayed him. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to try to perish this from my memory, but I haven't been able to.
Thanks to Matthew Ruby. He keeps bringing it up.
Exactly. All right. Well, if anyone has any questions for Gordon, we'll do that. And you're a local supporter. That's how you support the channel, is Rules for Retrogrades /locals, because we've been kicked off of Patreon, lost jobs, all that. Support on locals, and of course subscribe to the channel. And if you want to ask Gordon Hayward any of your questions, you have to be a locals to do it. We'll do it in 1 second, and I'll text you the other link, because we're gonna end here.
No, he can stay on.
Oh, you can just
he's good. Yeah, I just have to text. I just have to tell the locals people the link.
Okay,
I'll handle that.
But we're gonna cut it with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll end the live stream and we'll just stay here for now.
All right, Deus Volt people, God bless you all. Happy Halloween. I'm not doing a Halloween show tomorrow just to talk shit on people that don't like Halloween. That's not going to be well viewed, and I want to enjoy my Halloween. I want to get my costume ready or whatever. God bless you all. Happy Halloween.